Call to order Alexander County Board of Commissioners meeting for Monday, July the 18th, 2022. And I'll recognize for the invocation Commissioner Kent Herman, and for the Pledge of Allegiance, Commissioner Marty Pennell. If you would, please stand.
If you would bow with me. Dear Heavenly Father, just thank you for today, dear Lord, and thank you for all you do for us, dear Lord. Just thank you for letting us come back this way this evening for this meeting. Be with all of our military and all of our firemen and our police officers and wherever they may be, dear Lord. Just keep them out of harm's way. Thank you for all these citizens that showed up here tonight. Dear Lord, just lead us and guide us and direct us in everything we do. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. First item of business, any commissioners have a report?
Mr. Chairman, we had a Farmland Preservations meeting back on June 21st, and all members were present except two. We enrolled 5 more pieces of property. So now today we have 11,239 total acres in farmland preservation in the county.
All right. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. I was not able to attend, but I did hear some good things on our concert that was in the county on Saturday night. Was able to get into town in time to see the fireworks. That was real good. Kind of washed all the dust down. I'm just glad it waited until the concert was over for the rain. So hope everyone enjoyed that came out. I think there was a lot of people in town. Probably, from what I kind of seen and heard, probably one of the biggest things that's went on in Taylorsville in a few years. So we hope to do a few more of those along, and I think it's good for people to come out. And the band, I think, was good. I did get to hear a little bit of it, and they seemed to be real good. So appreciate everyone that came out and attended, and appreciate everyone so far with our courthouse park. Everybody's taking care. I haven't personally seen any time that there's a mess or anything there, and I thank our park rangers for taking care of that too, and for each citizen that comes and uses it, just to pick up what you bring. And there's trash cans and things there, and if you do have a problem, there's a number there that you can call, and someone will be answering and coming out. So do thank each one for that. Next item is to adopt our agenda. Everyone's had a chance to look at it in their booklets. I'd entertain a motion to adopt.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or question? All in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Moving on to number 1, our first item is, okay. Yeah, we do have some special recognition tonight. About to kind of overlook that, but saw them when I came in. We'll have recognition for Mr. Tim Keever, and Marty Pennell will be doing for Tim, and he'll get recognition. Mr. Keever, if you'll come up to the podium.
Over the past 50 years, Tim Keever has served the citizens of Alexander County in many capacities. He was employed at the Taylorsville Savings Bank for 43 years. If something's wrong, correct me. 26 of those years as president and CEO before his retirement last year. He has been a member of the Hidnot Volunteer Fire Department for 49 years. He led the position of chief from 2006 until 2021, and he is currently captain and secretary-treasurer for the fire department. Tim has actively involved in the Alexander County Chamber of Commerce Board, Hospital Board, and YMCA Board, as well as the Hidnot Ruritan Club. He is also a deacon at East Taylorsville Baptist Church, The Alexander County Board of Commissioners would like to thank Tim for his many years of hard work, dedication, and volunteering. And they're missing one thing on here. You're putting in a lot of time at the golf course. So, but we do appreciate the time spent in this community, in this county. I know that you've volunteered and done other aspects not mentioned here throughout the years, and we truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Say some words. Okay. Podium will be yours. You good?
Oh, okay. Well, I thank all of you for this recognition. One reason I'm spending so much time at the golf course, I'm trying to learn to hit the ball as far as Marty does. But like I say again, I do appreciate this award. The fire department's for 49 years. That was sort of in my blood because I was going to fires when I was 8 or 9, 10 years old with my dad when he was in the fire department. So I sort of got used to going with him to the fires, so it was sort of in my blood. I wasn't getting no younger, and after chief for 16 years, I thought it was time for me to step aside, and I had somebody that was good and qualified to be chief. Is probably a whole lot more trained than I was. Scott Mitchell, so Scott's our new chief at Hiddenite, and 43 years, I felt like that was enough at the bank, and I had somebody well qualified for that job. She's here tonight, Carrie Lackey. And the only thing I said I hate about putting her in the bank, they wouldn't nobody remember who I was after a couple of years. She does such a good job. But I love this county, and I like to stay active in things in the county. And I couldn't live anywhere else but the Hiddenite community. I'd get homesick. I told my wife one time that going on vacation, one of the best things about going on vacation was coming back home. So, again, I appreciate this and appreciate the recognition.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, get your family cup and get a picture. And friends, whoever's here for you.
Those are good folks. They work in our church. I'm like, this is nobody's business. They live in God's business. They're years ago.
I'm not sure.
I think he did. Let's see.
Thank you,
Thank
Tina. And the next recognition will be Mr. Doug Gillespie, and recognize Josh Lale.
Josh, yeah. Doug Gillespie began working in Alexander County government as a paramedic in February 1997. I was a sophomore in college. Thank you. Just to let you know. He was promoted to EMS training coordinator, shift supervisor in January of 2005. In May of 2014, Doug became interim EMS director and was promoted to EMS director in September of 2015. He worked for Alexander County EMS for approximately 23 years before being promoted to Director of Public Services, a position in which he supervised EMS and emergency services until his retirement in May of 2022. During his years of service to Alexander County, Doug was named the EMS Employee of the Year in 2004. He also worked with commissioners to bring a fourth and fifth additional 24-hour crew and worked to set up a base in the Sugarloaf community to expand coverage. We sincerely appreciate Doug's dedication to the citizens of Alexander County and wish him all the best in his retirement. Now we'd like to formally honor Doug with a key to the county. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, pose with me, please. Then I'll get
And if there's
my
any,
fellow employees.
if anybody would like to come up. And anybody that would like to come up and have a picture made?
Come on, Daniel, Mark. I got a big, long speech afterwards, so
Cool.
just don't worry about
We're
it.
ready.
I'm trying to be
Yeah.
like Tim, and I've learned since he retired that we go to the golf course.
Yeah.
So I try to go there as
All
much as
right.
possible.
Well, we know where to find you out there with Marty too, yeah.
I've seen him a couple times.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all. Good group there. When you dial them up, they come to answer the call, so we're thankful for that. And move on to item number 1, public comment. Anyone signed up, Madam Clerk? Okay, no one for that. Moving on to item number 2, we have a continued public hearing from June the 6th for Alexander Hazardous Materials Containment Plan. At this time, I'd recognize County Manager Rick French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On June the 6th, we did open up the public hearing, heard some very positive comments from some of the fire departments. And tonight, I'd like to recommend that we move forward and approve the ordinance as presented.
Okay, I guess first item, I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
A motion and a second.
Second.
All-
you already had
Yeah, no motion. All in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, thank you, Jim. Okay, public meeting is closed. Now to entertain a vote for approval. Everyone's had a chance to look at it in their packets. Do I have a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve.
Have a motion and a second.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor of approval of the hazardous waste materials containment plan, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Mr. French. Moving on to item number 3, insurance ratings for Ellendale and Hidnight Fire Departments. The announcement given by County Fire Marshal Mark Earl and Assistant Emergency Management Coordinator.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chairman, Madam Clerk.
Thank you.
Mr. French. Wanted to come to you tonight to recognize 2 of our local fire departments here in the county for the hard work and dedication that they give to the citizens within their fire district. In January 2022, Ellendale Fire Department completed their ISO inspection through the Office of State Fire Marshal. Ellendale's current rating is a split rating, which is a 6.9. As of October 1st, 2022, Ellendale's new rating will be a 5.9. So they've improved on their insurance rating. And we have some from Hidnight here tonight. They also completed the ISO rating through the State Fire Marshal's office. And their current rating is a 6.9. And their new rating is a 4.9.
Wow.
Well, that's great.
So they done an excellent job on that. Still waiting on Stony Points. They've not give us any update on them yet. Maybe by the end of the month, we'll hear from Stony Point's rate.
Okay.
But
So I
that's all
guess
have.
the split rating, that's just because of their 5 miles from the
Yes,
station?
Yes, anything within the 5 miles and 3,500 gallons per minute or less gets that rating. Anything that is beyond the 5 miles but less than 6 miles gets the 9.
Okay. But that's a great job.
I'd like to congratulate both those departments for their hard work that they do.
So, Mr. Earl, that's the lowest rating in the county?
The 4 is, yes.
Yeah, I mean, are there any other parts of the county that have a 4?
No, sir.
That's what I thought.
They're the only ones so far.
Very good. Very,
And
very good.
You say Stony Point hasn't got their results back
Right.
yet?
We're
Okay.
hoping to hear by the end of the month on them.
Okay. All right. All right.
And folks, what that equates to, as the son of an insurance agent, who was not ever really in the insurance business, but the son of an insurance agent, is that does drop your homeowner's insurance rates. Homeowner's insurance rates are based on your fire classification. You know, a 6 is better than a 5, a 5's better than a 4, 4's better than a 5. And so the folks in Hidnight should be very appreciative of how well the Hidnight Fire Department is doing. Because, you know, I live in Bethlehem, and mine's not quite that good.
That don't mean it won't be.
Yeah, I hope it will be, but great job.
Good job, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And we'll be interested to see where Stony Point comes in at, so keep us up to date on that. And item number 4, Alexander County Infrastructure Projects Update. I'd recognize David Moose, Compliance and Procurement Special, and Josh Mitchell, Director of Public Works and Solid Waste.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Chairman.
you, Dave.
We're going to bring you updates first on the broadband internet expansion project. This is a project that's been ongoing between Alexander County and Open Broadband to expand fixed wireless broadband service to unserved and underserved areas of Alexander County. The overall project is nearing completion currently. We broke the project into 2 phases, Phase 1 and Phase 2, so that they could have enough time to design Phase 2. Phase 1 work involved selecting a tower site in the Ellendale community to serve the Ellendale community, as well as installing equipment on a Moore Mountain tower site, and then some upgrades to Lenny's Mountain, which was an existing tower site. The Ellendale tower work is complete. Moore Mountain has kind of been the one that's presented a lot of problems. They actually sent tower climbers up recently, determined that the tower structure was insufficient to sustain the load of the equipment they were putting on there. So they have worked out a alternative option to install a 40-foot pole on the site. They're currently finalizing an agreement with the property owner to get that part wrapped up. As I said earlier, Ellendale Tower site upgrades are complete. They are still working to expand that, though. Currently, they are working to establish a point-to-point connection to a new location to serve Brushy Mountain Motorsports Park up off of Lambert Fork Road, which is also an unserved area. So that's some additional expansion there. In the Phase 2 part of the project, that focused on eastern and northeastern part of Alexander County. That included selecting a Stony Point tower site, as well as installing 2 LTE hubs to serve the northeast and southeast portions of Alexander County. Currently, the Stony Point tower site is nearing completion. The last I spoke with Open Broadband, they were waiting on Duke Power to go out and establish power at the site, and then they were able to wrap that up. So that should be online very soon. The 2 LTE hub sites are also in process. They have spoken with a property owner for one site, and they are trying to finalize negotiations on the second site. So that's where the project currently stands. Also, on the topic of broadband expansion in the county, just this afternoon we received information in the form of a letter that notified us that the partnership between Alexander County and Xeris Yadtel, which is a telecom company based out of Yadkin County, has been approved tentatively. They will be receiving an award of $1,049,286 to bring fiber to the home to 305 homes in eastern and northeastern Alexander County. Alexander County had agreed to match that with part of our American Rescue Plan Act funding. So we will be working in the near future to finalize that agreement and continue helping to expand broadband in that area. Questions?
Yes, do you have a layout or projection or preliminary layout on which roads that will actually service?
I don't, they have not provided us that yet, but as soon as they do, I'll be glad to bring another update to the board.
All right.
Any other questions on the broadband? Okay. If not, the second project I'll bring you an update on tonight is the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, Waterline Expansion Project. The slide that's before you here shows the proposed 12 construction areas. This project represents a nearly $7 million investment by Alexander County in new water lines that'll serve areas where interest in service has been expressed in the past. Funding for these constructions is provided entirely through the use of Alexander County's, portion of Alexander County's allocation of the Federal American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds. The project will result in the construction of approximately 42,500 linear feet of 2-inch through 8-inch water lines located within the 12 project areas that you see on the map, which are highlighted in yellow. A summary of those expansion areas includes rehabilitation work on the existing lines on Standala Drive in that Standala community. We've historically had a lot of breaks in that area and failures, so we're looking at replacing all those lines. The rest of these would be new construction. They include Bowman's Court, Twins Cove Road, Green Street, Caldwell Pond Road to John Klein Road. And a note on that one, we're also working with McGill Associates to explore some design alternates. This is the next slide here. They're actually currently looking at 3 alternate designs and some cost estimates. I don't think that we will have enough funding to do much of this beyond the John Klein line that we're currently designing, but we are exploring this for future. But that would include potentially extending water service down to the end of Caldwell Pond and 64, or in the future, in another project, most likely looping it all the way back to DG Eckerd and US 64, which actually create a loop for the 127 line. Moving along, we're also looking at adding water lines to Jenkins Moose Road, McAlpin Lane, Advent Church Road, Shepherd Court, Hefner Lane, and then creating a loop on Kirby Lackey and Glass Road, as well as new lines on Shook Lane and Jimmy Shook Lane, Hickory Hollow, and Laurel Ridge Lane. The project is currently at approximately 30% completion in the design phase. McGill Associates is the project engineer. They've completed the initial layout of all the lines in the proposed construction areas, and they currently have survey teams on the ground working in the areas to complete field work, identifying ground features, and setting control points. The next phase of the project will include the development of pipeline profiles, technical specifications, and the preparation of bid documents. And we anticipate bid and award phase to begin during the first quarter of 2023, with construction to follow. Are there any questions on that project?
Sounds good. A lot of stuff going on. We need water everywhere we can get it. So,
Very busy. I'll turn it
Thank
over to Josh.
all right, thank you.
The first thing I'll talk about tonight is the Bethlehem water tank. Back in 2021, the county had a hydraulic study performed on the Bethlehem area water system. And that study found that there was a need for another tank in the Bethlehem area to help with pressure and fire flows. This would be a 1 million gallon elevated tank, pump station, and 16-inch ductile iron pipe tank fill water main. The projected cost to construct is $5,430,700. We've gotten state grant funding for the amount of $2,065,000. So then we're going to need local or other funding in the amount of $3,365,700. The engineer for the project is West Consultants, and we hope to execute the construction contracts somewhere around the fourth quarter of 2023. Any questions on the water tank?
I think that'll be big asset to that area for pressure and for additional water, so hopefully have some monies that will come in too, so.
Yes, sir.
Well, and one thing with that, but that being my community, you know, community where I live, there's a lot of stuff getting ready to go on. And that's all I'll say. Being in the real estate and construction business, there will be a significant increase in need for water, for volume of water, from what I can see in the next, in the next 5, 10 years, without any doubt. You know, there's a second phase of apartments going in, on 127, and the first phase was 2 buildings, the second phase is 5 buildings. And when I say 5 buildings, I don't mean, 4 units apiece. I'm not sure how many units there are, but I'm guessing probably 150. As well as we have other developers that are looking at doing significant projects in Bethlehem potentially. We also have commercial developers that are looking at Bethlehem, and from a business perspective, I'm not allowed to say everything that's going on that I know about, because I'm privy to some information that they wouldn't want me to share. But the southwest corner of the county is going to be changing significantly in the next, 5, 10 years, which is a bonus to the entire county because of property tax, sales tax, and other things. And so I think if there's a potential water expansion need, it's definitely a positive in preparation for what's going on.
Well, we want to try to look ahead too, just as Josh was saying, for expansion. Other things coming in, if you don't have the availability, you're not going to grow much. And if Bethlehem grows, it helps Bethlehem, but it also helps the whole county, for
Absolutely.
that. So, and I know for my family and myself, there's a Dunkin' up at, Bethlehem right now, so you don't have to go all the way to Hickory, so you can buy it right there. So, but
You probably go there more than I do, just saying. But
Mr. Mitchell, do we already have the site for the tank?
We don't have the actual site, but the general location is going to be right around PJ's Steakhouse, somewhere in there.
Will we
We
have to
still have to-
purchase that property?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
he's my neighbor. We can work it out.
maybe they'll give us a deal since it's, Bethlehem. No, I just said that.
Question on West Consultants, knowing that there's planning involved for multiple new subdivisions in the Bethlehem area, is West Consultants, do they have that knowledge when they were running their studies for what size we need?
Yes, sir. We actually had a meeting with them Friday, talked about future needs, anticipated growth coming on, all that kind of stuff. And we've worked with Benji and West Consultants quite a bit, and pretty sharp fella. And but yeah, we talked about all that stuff in our meeting Friday.
Well, and that's one thing that Alexander County is an interesting place because we're small, we're rural. We have Statesville on the east side. We have Wilkesboro on the north side. We have Conover, Newton on one side, and we have Hickory on one side. And, I feel like Statesville is moving, Statesville's growing, and they have to move, it has to expand, which is the eastern end of our county. Hickory's growing, which means they have to move north, which is the Bethlehem community. Bethlehem's changed a lot. My wife and I had this conversation the other day. We were just talking about nothing, but my wife said, 10 years ago, I went to Lowe's Foods in Bethlehem, and I knew everybody in there. And she said, now when I go, I don't know anybody. And you can look at that as a positive or a negative. I think Alexander County is a wonderful small town. But, you know, the fact that there are people moving in from all over the country, you know, from California, from up north, from Florida. We call them halfbacks. They, you know, very well have moved from New Jersey to Florida. Florida's too hot, and guess what? They're moving back halfway. So we call them halfbacks in the real estate business. You know, but the demographics of our county are changing, whether we like it or not. And we need to try to take advantage of that and make sure that we can, you know, that we can benefit from the property taxes, sales tax, and those things to provide our citizens everything that we can. And, you know, and I really don't think, you know, we're not talking 50 years down the road anymore. We're talking 5 years, 10 years. And so, you know, I think we need to take it seriously.
Yes, for sure. All right,
Any other questions on that?
Nope.
sounds good.
Next thing is the Bowman Court Sewer Pump Station and Force Main. This section of line was originally part of the Bethlehem Sewer Project we just finished up in '21. This is a pump station and around 6,500 feet of 8-inch force main. The pump station is down on Bowman Court, and the force main runs up Bowman Court, hits Rink Dam, and then ties into the gravity sewer at the top of Chigger Ridge Road. The purpose of this is to help service existing residents and possible new development. McGill and Associates is the project engineer. They are currently working on plan sheets, technical specifications, and bid documents. And again, this one, we hope to execute construction contracts somewhere in the fourth quarter of 2023.
So we need to adopt these two.
No, he's got one more,
Yeah.
one more thing.
Okay.
Anybody have questions on that one? The next thing I want to talk about is some possible upgrades to Bethlehem Park. The upgrades include new signage, repaving and striping the parking lots, removing the old picnic shelter, adding or taking down the old concession and bathroom building, putting in a new concession building, and that would have an attached picnic shelter, adding some ADA parking at the lower ball field, replacing all the light poles and lights, and then redoing some paving by the concession stand, working on the retaining walls at the large field, repair and paint them, adding some storm drainage there below, is that Huntington House or Hancock and Moore?
Hancock.
Hancock and Moore. Where their parking lot meets our property right there. It's a pretty big drop off, and it's washing rather severely. So we would repair that and put in some storm drainage. Looking at the possibility of converting 2 tennis courts to 4 or 6 pickleball courts, leaving the existing playground and removing the old picnic shelter. And the preliminary number on this work was right at $1.3 million.
Any questions?
I'll just make a comment again. I'm a Bethlehem guy, sorry. Bethlehem Park, I have had several children play recreation sports as well as travel, baseball and such. And Bethlehem Park is not at the same level, and correct me if I'm wrong, is not at the same level of quality as some of our other county parks.
Yes.
I was privy to meet with Mr. French and Josh and also the engineer and walk the property and look at potential improvements. And one thing that I explained to them is the Bethlehem Park that is owned by the county was not originally built by the county. It was built by the Bethlehem Community Development Association with private money. It does belong to the county. But same situation with the growth in the county, tax base in the county. You know, I think this is more than warranted. You know, my son played travel baseball in Morganton last weekend. And if you guys want to see something impressive, go to the city of Morganton's new park. I say new, it's been there 4 or 5 years. There are 9 baseball fields. There's a playground that covers probably 2 acres. There's a disc golf course that probably covers 3 or 4 acres. There, you know, we've got to catch up. And if you go to other communities around, you know, if you go to other communities around, not just Bethlehem or in Alexander County, if you go to other communities in Catawba County, Iredell County, Wilkes County, currently we are not providing our citizens the parks and recreation experience that they deserve. And so I think this is a great opportunity to bring Bethlehem Park, you know, more in line with East Park, with, you know, other parks in the county. And some of it's gonna have to be done, some of it has to be done, or, you know, there's some things that, I mean, absolutely have to be done, or we're gonna have to shut it down, because there's some there are safety concerns. There are retaining walls falling in. There are other things like that. And I just think it'd be a great thing for the community. And what, you know, I'd love to see Alexander County start hosting some of this travel baseball and travel softball and all these other things that are bringing tons of money into other communities that, you know, that we're missing out on. And overall, I think this plan's, you know, this plan's great. Couple things I'd like to see added. You know,
Commissioner Lowe, I'd like to add a couple of
but,
things.
you know, but, I think it's definitely needed.
You mentioned several different areas on the way that they're doing their parks and recreation areas on surrounding counties. And that I, along with you, feel that our citizens are underserved on what could be offered to them. And all the places that you mentioned also has aquatic centers to go with those large parks. So I'm just making everyone aware that an aquatic center benefits not only one age group of people, but an entire county.
And I called, actually, the pickleball courts are my idea, just being honest. I called Rick and I said, hey, man, nobody uses these tennis courts. You know, pickleball is the coolest thing in the history of the world now. I don't know how to play, never played before. But every park in every surrounding area is, you know, building pickleball courts, which is kind of like tennis, but you don't have to run as far and you don't have to be as fast. So it's more attractive to folks of all ages. You know,
Maybe you eat pickles while you play ball.
you might, I don't know if you eat pickles between sets or games, I don't know. But it's, you know, it's kind of a mixture of badminton and tennis and ping pong. I'm not sure, but I've talked to several people that play and they love it.
Very popular.
Yeah, it's very popular. I've never played pickleball, but we already have, you know, like at Bethlehem, we already have tennis courts that we can convert pretty inexpensively to pickleball courts, and hope, you know, and that's one of those things, like the tennis courts down there. I mean, I live in Bethlehem. I'm at, you know, I don't go to that park really often, but it's very rare that you do go to the park and anybody's playing tennis. You know, well, hopefully with pickleball, we can get more people active, get more people in the community involved. You know, I think the road down to the lower field, allowing some ADA parking where handicapped and or grandparents can pull down there and watch their grandkids play. I mean, that's a major bonus. I've coached a lot of T-ball on that little field. And it's not easy to get down there right now, you know. And some, like I say, a lot of this maintenance is absolutely required. I mean, we've got light posts, and I think Mr. French would agree, you know, we have light posts that woodpeckers have eaten through because they're good old, you know, treated pine posts that have been there for years and years and years. You know, we've got some water issues with drainage and the such. The concession stand is far less than modern or acceptable. You know, and I think this is just an attempt to try to provide the citizens of Alexander County, because teams from all over the county come to Bethlehem Park to play, you know, with rec sports. It's just gonna, you know, allow them a better experience. It's gonna allow the spectators a better experience, as well as gonna allow the community to hopefully use the park when there's not a ball game going on, that they come, you know, that they come to watch. So, I think this is a much-needed project.
And Commissioner Lau would add that it still leaves 2 tennis courts so people can still play
Right,
tennis.
absolutely.
On the property.
Yep.
And, you know, we're doing some other improvements at parks, Dusty Ridge, we've got the Wittenberg access, where there's gonna be, you know, a lot of things there. So we're looking at, you know, at other parks too. If there's something that is in need, you know, we will, you know, kind of have a process in place to where we handle it. But it's kind of like this one that, for some reason, kind of has been kind of forgotten a little bit, but we don't want to do that. But we'll make sure that everything's kept up to speed and make progress on this. So.
And Mr. Chairman, one other comment I'd make, I have talked to some of the higher-ups at Hancock and Moore, and they are more than willing to cooperate and or help with this project if we need them to.
Okay. All right. Mr. French can keep that in mind too. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah. All right. Is that it,
That's
John?
all I got.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, thank you, Josh and David, appreciate you coming tonight. Good information there and things that we want to keep up to date on. Moving on to item number 7, lease between Taylorsville Lions Club and Alexander County. Recognize County Manager Rick French.
Number 5.
Okay, I'm jumped way ahead. We talked about it. Okay, the Bethlehem water tank, sorry about that. We'll back up to number 5, resolution for that.
So we got 2 resolutions, items 5 and 6 to come before you tonight. The first one, item number 5, is a resolution by the governing body of applicant Alexander County Bethlehem Water Tank Project, and it gives the project number. This is a resolution for the board to formally accept the American Rescue Plan Act State Fiscal Recovery Funds, which is offered as a grant through that funding opportunity by North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality to Alexander County in the amount of $2,065,000. This will be for the construction of the 1 million gallon capacity elevated water storage tank, along with the tank fill booster station and approximately 2,000 linear feet of 16-inch water line, water main, along with the valves, fittings, and related appurtenances. So this resolution authorizes the board to, or the county to accept that amount of funding for that project. If there's any questions?
Okay. What this does is get it where we can move forward with getting everything together.
Yeah, so this is the next step in, formally, we've received the letter to intent to fund from DEQ. This is the next formal step to accept the grant amount. And this is a grant, not a loan.
Okay. Any questions? I make a motion that we accept and approve the resolution.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or question? All in favor, raise your right hand. Yes, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Okay, we'll do, I guess, item number 6.
Yes, sir. So item 6 is same thing, different project. It's a resolution by governing body of applicant Alexander County to accept funding for the Bowman Court Sewer Pump Station. This is also offered through North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, offering a grant through the American Rescue Plan Act State Fiscal Recovery Fund in the amount of $1,554,000 for the construction of a sewer pump station and force main along Bowman Court. So this resolution, just like the other one, authorizes the county to accept that funding and move forward with the project. Any questions on that?
Okay. Any questions?
Just remind you, Chairman Reese, that I will remain recused on any of the Bowman Court decisions.
Okay, all right. Make a note of Commissioner. Okay, anyone else have a question? All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution for the Bowman Court Sewer Pump Station, project number SRPW ARP 0086.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Raise your right hand. All right. Motion carries with the recusal of Commissioner Penn. Yes. Thank you,
Mr.
Dave. Appreciate it. Okay, now we get back to where it was a while ago. I'm kind of go too fast, I guess. Item number 7 will be the lease between Taylorsville Lions Club and Alexander County, and I recognize County Manager Rick French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet is a copy of the lease between the county and the Lions Club, Taylorsville Lions Club. It's a 5-year lease. It's $6,000 a year. It covers 3+ acres. It's going to be used for the Alexander County Emergency Services Training Site. The lease was reviewed and approved by our new county attorney. And I know we've been waiting for it for some time. It goes into effect August 1st and runs through July 31st of 2027. And it's renewable every 5 years.
Okay. And this is the fairgrounds property?
Yes,
part of it,
sir.
so people will know.
Fairgrounds property, yes.
A portion.
Portion of it, yeah.
Portion of it, yeah.
Okay, everybody's had a copy of the lease agreement. Is there any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'll just say, I feel like this is the most economically responsible way we could have done this. And I didn't have anything to do with it, so I can say that, or personally. But, in trying to find a site for emergency services to have a practice facility, this lease makes much more sense than purchasing property to do the same, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. Seems to be a good thing. And I think it will be used, good. So there's plenty of places there and for storage for things if we have, hopefully have no more storms anywhere, but if we do have to have FEMA trailers.
It's a good
things that
central
come in,
location.
Yeah,
Right.
they can use that, so. Need a motion to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. If there's no discussion, I'd entertain a vote to approve the lease agreement. Raise your right hand. Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. French. Moving on to item number 8, voting delegate designation for NCACC, the 115th Annual Conference. And I think this will be in Concord, I think, this year.
That's correct.
Commissioner Yoder is not present tonight, but I think he will be willing to do that.
Yep, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we appoint Larry Yoder as our delegate to the NCACC's 115th Annual Conference.
Okay, have a motion, have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor of Commissioner Yeager being our delegate, raise your right hand. Motion carries. And you can give him the good news, and if something needs to be changed, we'll take care of that at a later date. So, moving on to item number 9. Yeah, if you're not here, you get it. Yeah. Budget ordinance amendments, number 1 through 3, and our project budget ordinance, P1. I'll recognize County Manager Rick French once again. Or, yeah, for Jamie, excuse me, I had it.
That's okay.
Yeah. Our clerk, Jamie Flowers, will be doing the reading.
Budget amendment number 1 is to increase the Register of Deeds office budget for the receipt of state grant funds plus the 100% local match requirement. This grant is for the preservation of historic records and files. It's also to increase the sheriff's office budget for the receipt of a state grant to be used for expenses incurred in enforcing the laws of North Carolina and carrying out other duties set by law. There is no local match requirement. To increase the detention center budget for the receipt of a federal grant to be used for COVID mitigation in the detention center. There's also no local match for this one. To increase the fire emergency services budget for the FEMA Public Assistant Grant funds received to reimburse the county for costs incurred due to Tropical Storm Eta in November 2020. Budget amendment number 2 is to increase the EMS budget for the purchase of 2 used LifePak 15 cardiac monitors, 1-year-old monitors from the Upper Cleveland Rescue Squad to replace 2 monitors that can no longer be serviced, and the estimated quarterly payments to NCDHHS for the Medicaid managed care directed payment fee schedule. That's a big one. Number 3 is to increase the sheriff's office budget for ammunition that has been backordered since the summer and fall of 2021. Items will be received in the new budget year, so expenses must be charged to fiscal year 2023. And then project budget ordinance number P1 is for the Soil and Water Stream Flow Rehabilitation Assistance Program state contract. $384,805.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie.
You're welcome.
Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve budget ordinance.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve budget amendments number 1 through 3 and project budget ordinance P1.
As presented.
Have a motion, to have a second?
Second.
Any motion and a second? Any other discussion or question? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, moving on to, I think, item number 10, correct? Yes. All right. Be board appointments and reappointments, and I recognize County Manager Rick French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Juvenile Crime Prevention Council appoint Kimberly Edmiston for 2 years. Region E Aging Advisory Committee appoint Paulette Huffman and Crystal Adams for 2 years.
Okay. Make a motion that we approve those persons as stated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. And County Manager's report, Mr. Rick French.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things to mention and a few things for closed session. One, the General Assembly has approved school resource officers in the state budget, and I talked with the school superintendent, and we're waiting to see the application forms. Usually those do not cover, they cover part of the salary, but none of the vehicles that are needed or radios. Also, as you all are aware, Senator Proctor has sent us a letter that the county's going to receive $750,000 of funding from the state budget. And also, we've made contact with the NCACC concerning the quarter-cent sales tax that would be used for volunteer fire departments. We've started that process.
All right,
And I have a couple of things for closed session, Mr. Chairman.
okay.
I have a question. Is that funding reoccurring?
No, so from the state,
Yeah,
No, sir.
just one.
Yes, sir.
So we have started the process for the quarter cent
Yes, sir.
sales tax?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. French.
Thank you.
This time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Everyone's had the opportunity to look at it in your packet. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, need a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen. At this time, we'll entertain, I'll make as a motion to go into closed session per NCGS 143-318.11 at 4, 5, and 6 for economic development, contractual, and personnel. And we will re-adjourn only for the purpose of adjournment. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, we're now in closed session. Thank you.